Most of us reach for supplements with the best of intentions, to fill nutritional gaps, boost energy, protect the heart, sharpen the mind. Yet the capsules and powders that line our kitchen shelves can just as easily work against us as for us, especially when we swallow several of them together without a second thought. Large surveys show that 4 out of 5 adults now take at least one supplement every day, and many of us take 3, 5, or even 10. That seems harmless, until you learn that tens of thousands of people are treated in emergency rooms each year for reactions triggered not by a single pill, but by the way 2 or more pills clash once they meet inside the body. In other words, the danger is rarely the ingredient itself. The danger is the mixture. The first, and perhaps most common collision, happens between probiotics and antibiotics. Probiotics are living, friendly bacteria meant to repopulate your gut. Antibiotics, of course, are designed to kill bacteria. When you swallow them together, the medicine wipes out the very microbes you are paying good money to replace. Clinical. Studies estimate that an antibiotic course can eradicate more than 4/5 of the beneficial organisms in your intestines. That microbial wipeout reverberates through the immune system, digestion, even mood. If your physician prescribes an antibiotic, take it exactly as directed. But push your probiotic 2 hours before or at least 4 hours after the drug, and keep the friendly bacteria coming for 2 weeks after the prescription ends, so the ecosystem can rebuild. A second tug-of-war happens every morning in households where people drink green tea with breakfast and wash down an iron tablet at the same time. Green tea is full of tannins, plant chemicals that bind tightly to non-heme iron, the form found in most supplements and in plant foods. When that bond forms, the iron slides harmlessly through the gut and out of the body instead of entering the bloodstream, and you never feel the benefit. If you rely on iron to combat fatigue or anemia, leave at least 2 hours between the brew and the pill. The next pairing is trickier because for decades we were told it was helpful. Vitamin C does indeed improve iron absorption, but megadosing on both can overshoot the mark, letting iron accumulate in organs where it does not belong. People with hemochromatosis are at greatest risk, yet even healthy adults can edge into iron overload when they chase every iron capsule with a gram of C. Excess iron drives fatigue, joint pain, and liver stress, precisely the problems you thought you were preventing. If you take iron, stick with modest vitamin C, about 100 milligrams at the same sitting, and leave the high-dose fizzy packets for another time of day. Minerals wage their own silent battles. Zinc and copper, for instance, share the same intestinal doorway. Flood the system with zinc, anything above 50 milligrams a day, and copper is elbowed aside, eventually leading to anemia, immune weakness, even neurological issues. Likewise, many people add a calcium tablet to support their bones, and a magnesium capsule to soothe muscles, unaware that too much calcium will block the very magnesium they need. Researchers who track intake say the healthiest ratio for most adults is roughly 2 parts calcium to 1 part magnesium. Tip that scale, and you may end up with brittle bones and twitchy muscles despite diligent supplementation. Sometimes the clash is not a competition for absorption, but a dangerous amplification of the same effect. Ginkgo biloba and fish oil omega-3s both make the blood less sticky. That is wonderful for arteries, until the blood becomes so thin that minor bruises blossom into black and blue patches overnight, or nosebleeds refuse to quit. For anyone scheduled for surgery or who already takes a prescription blood thinner, piling ginkgo on top of omega-3 can shift from helpful to hazardous. The rule here is straightforward. If you use one blood-thinning supplement, drop the other unless your doctor is monitoring clotting time. Fat-soluble vitamins require similar respect. A, D, E, and K dissolve in dietary fat, are absorbed together, and are stored together in the liver. Taken in the correct amounts, they form a potent alliance. D guides calcium into the bloodstream. K sends that calcium to bone. A and E provide antioxidant armor. But large isolated doses of D or E can hog the transport system and block K from riding along. Without K, calcium drifts into soft tissue, raising blood pressure and joint calcification. Risks. The practical fix is simple. Keep doses moderate and, whenever possible, Take your fat-soluble quartet with a meal that includes healthy fat such as olive oil, avocado, or nuts, so they share the ride. Even water-soluble vitamins can undercut one another. High-potency vitamin C swallowed alongside a B12 lozenge sounds virtuous, but lab studies demonstrate that acidic C molecules can degrade B12 in the stomach before absorption occurs. Space them at least 2 hours apart, and both will survive to do their jobs. A similar 2-hour window protects the nervous system from another common trap: loading a caffeine tablet or triple espresso right next to a high-dose B complex in the hope of turbocharging energy. Caffeine spikes cortisol, the body's emergency hormone. B vitamins rev metabolism. Together they light the nervous system like a fuse, then leave it burned out and jittery, impairing sleep and recovery. Stagger them through the day and energy becomes steady rather than frantic. Now for good news, certain pairings multiply benefits instead of cancelling them. Take vitamin D with vitamin K2 and you create a delivery system that escorts calcium from the intestine to the skeleton and keeps it out of arteries. Add magnesium and you unlock D's full activation, because every step that converts sunshine vitamin D into its working hormone form depends on magnesium enzymes. Swallow zinc and vitamin C in the same 24-hour cycle, just not the same swallow, and you marshal a two-pronged defense against respiratory viruses. Zinc blocks viral replication, while C fuels the immune troops that mop up the invaders. Combine vitamin E with omega-3 fats at dinner time, and you double the cardiovascular shield. One reduces oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the other calms inflammation and improves vessel flexibility. The puzzle, then, is arranging timing and dosing, so that helpers meet helpers, not foes. That is why many nutrition specialists now urge people to move away from one-pill multivitamins crammed with dozens of nutrients fighting for the same receptors. Choose targeted single or paired supplements, matched to a recent blood test and a practitioner's advice. Create a simple schedule: breakfast, lunch, dinner, bedtime, and assign specific capsules to each slot with at least a couple of hours between competing minerals or clashing stimulants. Always swallow fat-soluble vitamins with food that contains fat. Keep iron or zinc well away from tannin-rich beverages like tea and coffee. And remember the overarching rule: more is rarely better. Beyond a certain threshold, nutrients behave like drugs, with side effects that mirror their benefits in reverse. In the end, smart supplementation is less about swallowing the most pills, and more about understanding how each nutrient travels, who it competes with and who it teams up with. Approached with that respect, supplements can fill genuine gaps, shore up weak links in diet or genetics, and extend health rather than endanger it. Approached casually, they can drain the wallet and, worse, set off biochemical chain reactions that land us in hospital wards, astonished that natural products caused so much harm. The difference lies in knowledge, timing, and moderation. 3 simple tools we all possess once we decide to use them.